Hi, I'm Ellen Rose, and I suffer from mental health issues. I have severe clinical depression with anxiety, a borderline emotional personality disorder, mild to moderate OCD, and also tinnitus. However, if you have a problem with my mental health, that's your problem, because I've got enough of my own. According to one of my therapists, it probably started around about the age of 5 or 6, because by the age of 8 I was sitting down on my bedroom floor. I'd managed to get a tub full of soluble aspirin and was about to drink it when my mother walked in and said, "You do not need that many for a headache." From a very early age I got used to covering up my feelings and my emotions, actually. But it didn't totally manifest itself until I was 21, when I had a breakdown, which is pretty much the universe slapping you around the face to let you know that there's definitely something wrong. I always knew that there was something wrong, I just didn't know what wasn't right. So in an odd kind of way, having a breakdown was actually a relief, because it answered so many of the questions that I had about myself. Okay, well, this I did from a photograph that I had taken of me when I was going 15 months without electricity. It's to remind me that if I can get through that, I can pretty much get through anything. And that's why I painted it, because I wanted that permanent reminder up there that I'm a survivor. So, well, I did an interview for the Argus. I've also done an interview for BBC Local Radio as well. The headline was interesting, of course. The headline was, "I tried to kill myself and now I help others." And I would just like to say I'm not into euthanasia. So yeah, that was a bit of a giggle. That kept the office laughing for a little while, actually. So yeah. But for the most part, the press is actually incredibly positive. When I step out the front door, I need my outsides to look better than my insides, because I need to feel that anyone I meet or see on the street doesn't look at me and know how bad I'm feeling. So as a result, and a consequence of the personality disorder as well, which is a little bit of well, almost hoarding, but not, compulsive actions, I think it comes under. And I own quite a few shoes and clothes. I'm a typical Gemini, and I don't know, if everyone, I know everyone doesn't believe in that, but yeah, I tick most of the boxes. I like talking, I'm always on the go if I can be. However, on a bad day, I try as much as possible to stay away from people, especially people I like and care for, because I can be absolutely awful. One of the ways I cope is by shouting sometimes to get it out of my system. And if somebody's around me who doesn't understand that I'm not shouting at them, I'm just shouting, then it can be quite offensive, I should imagine, and very upsetting. So I try to only be around those who really, really know me when I'm having a bad day, because I can also get quite maudlin. If it's a terrible, terrible day, I can start talking about suicide. Not about doing it, but just about what a relief it would be and how quiet it would be if I was no longer here.
What prejudices have you come across from everyday folk?
Do you know what? My mind just went blank when you started talking. It happens. It's actually a very good example.
It's probably just my monotonous voice rather than sending you to sleep.
Sometimes my brain just shuts down. I wish it could do that when I meditate. If I could do that when I meditate, I would be like a Buddhist meditator. I met Greg at the Recovery College when I used to work there. He's a volunteer there. He's a brilliant support to me. He's much calmer than I am, so he's a much more calming influence on me. And also he knows how to support me. He won't just immediately come in and give me a hug. It's generally not what people want if they've suddenly hit a really bad place with their illness. And I kind of suggested that he might want to go out for a cigarette, knowing he was the only other smoker in the building. So yeah, we got chatting through that, and eventually we became a couple.
Oh yes, so I noticed the very attractive lady who was
was
coming
she?
in and doing the hard work.
Who was
Do you remember Alice?
Hey, first, you did do all the hard work.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what borderline personality disorder actually means?
There's different what. I tell you what, Stephen, can you ask Greg that later? Because he knows about it and I don't really. I know how it affects me, but I don't really. I mean, there's even a borderline personality disorders book for dummies, and a lot of the doctors don't understand what a borderline personality disorder is, or BPD as it's generally referred to. But there are different types, going from mine's an emotional one, emotional personality disorder, all the way. What? Okay, if you're going to do that, you can fucking sit over there.
Sorry. Sorry.
Okay, so...
What is it then? You've interrupted, you might as well continue.
Nah, you're right, sorry.
What? I was diagnosed with an emotional borderline personality disorder. It's not my fault they keep changing the name.
No, and you're right, it's just that basically there's the American and the European diagnostic thing.
That was just instinctive with that in terms of information.
I'm sorry for getting moody at you.
You're quite right, I just interrupted your bloody...
It's just obviously, you know me, talking about my mental health can have a...
No, totally, and I just interrupted mid-flow and distracted you in the middle of a bloody talk. I'm very sorry.
You will be.
Yeah, again, further and purely from my own understanding, which is not of a professional level, but just having looked it up, I'm more the researchy type. BPD, it comes with 9 diagnostic criterion, of which I think 5 have to be present for it to be diagnosed. But some of them are a lot more prevalent and common than others. Often, along with the emotional intensity and instability component, there's also very strongly an abandonment issue that people often, when they were younger, encountered situations that led them to not feel they'd be reliably cared for or wanted and what have you.
So much that always goes on in my head. It never Indy! Oh, for God's sakes. Indy! Oh. But I think just the stress as well, the amount of stress involved in living today is, I would have thought, threefold. You know, it's you'd think that technology would make everything easier, but in actual fact it's just meant that we have to be more alert more of the time.
Oh, bank statements, are they here?
Basically.
No.
No, they're there.
Just in an envelope?
No, yeah, the bank statements are part of the post that I haven't opened yet.
Is it okay if I just go through and...
Feel free, you know what it is. I should just... Go.
So, can I ask how you guys met?
Recovery College.
Yeah, the pilot scheme, which was
Run by Mind.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, about that.
Right, okay. So what do you want with the post?
Oh, I want to pretend it's not there and I hope it goes away.
So, if I think you can't handle it,
Okay.
I will put it to one side for you to give to Greg.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Some things...
I mean, they're okay. They're
Mind,
already...
body and spirit.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
the one we've already included. That's
Yeah.
basically on a deck now.
As far as the post thing goes, I've been in the same position Ellen's been in, where you're just so scared of opening your post because you don't know what's there. And if someone else can do it for you, and Ellen's done it for me in the past, is they can then look at it, the things that they know you're able to deal with, they can give to you, you can deal with them. Things that are just filing can be filed, things that are rubbish get thrown, things that I didn't feel Ellen could deal with, I put in a pile to give to her boyfriend so that he could talk to her about it when he felt that she could deal with it.
Yeah, a few ups and downs, as with all friendships, and plus both of us having mental health issues. They're a little bit magnified, to say the least.
And there was a period of 8 months where I had really bad agoraphobia, so...
Yeah, I made her email me monthly, just to let me know that she was still alive. She didn't have to say anything, just I'm alive.
Yeah. Change your GP.
Oh God, yes.
If your GP is one of these ones that
is good with physical but terrible with mental health,
change your GP.
Change it. I mean,
change your GP. It's essential.
Yeah.
I would be.
And don't feel bad about asking either.
I'd be a lot further along in my recovery if I'd changed my GP sooner.
Yeah.
I went for about God knows how many years with a terrible GP. Getting worse basically, and when I changed my GP, that's when my recovery really started.
I mean, my GP after a while told me he was getting bored of it, and he was getting bored of me, like I should be better already. And I think that was about 8-9 months after my breakdown. So I would actually really like to meet somebody who gets better 8-9 months after a breakdown, because I want to know what they do so as I can do too.
So when you mentioned just now about that you wish you brought, was it the right type of glass? What did you mean by that?
Well, basically I only self-harm with glass. I don't use razors or knives or anything like that, just broken glass. And the glass I've got at home is clean, so I know that it's not going to have anything on it that's going to cause an issue with, with the healing of my arm. But yeah, it's just been one of those days where I kind of wanted it as a safety blanket, really. I don't think I'd use it, but it's kind of like when people give up smoking and they keep one cigarette around. They don't smoke it, but it's there, and they know it's there, so they don't need to. And it's a little bit like that with the glass. If I know it's there, I don't really need to use it. So.
What does the action of the glass? How does that help you?
Cutting?
Yeah.
It's a release. It's kind of like popping a balloon with a pin. So the pressure inside the balloon is so great, so the emotions inside me are so great that once I pop the balloon, the pressure kind of dissipates. Okay.
Cool.
Very different coping mechanism. You've seen them all today, haven't
Yeah,
you?
it's good. Yeah.
You haven't seen my the main one, which is Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia. And I go through them until I calm myself down. But that's when I'm out and about and I can't self-harm. Now living in Brighton, I have a free swimming pool almost on my doorstep. So when the weather's good, and I am a fair weather swimmer, I have to admit to that, there's nothing better than going and swimming and just being in the water with nature, and everything disappears, everything just goes.
What would your message be to anyone who might have had similar experiences to you?
Get all the help you can and never stop asking for it. It's not easy to get the help you need because there are so many people needing it and not enough people out there to help. It's hard, but try and ignore the negative people, try and ignore the nasty remarks. If it showed up on an X-ray, they probably wouldn't be saying it.